Hello. Today I will be showing how you can disassemble the Nespresso VertutoPlus machine. Basically, I received this machine from a friend. He wanted to give it on the warranty, but before that I wanted to find out why this machine leaks and if it's easy or hard fix, and how you can fully disassemble it for cleaning, for maybe other fixing, because it's different from other Nespresso machine. The first thing you need to do is you need to connect it to the power and open the top housing. I will move now my camera on the top and you'll see all the process. So let's continue. First of all, I plug it to the outlet so I can open it. What's the issue with the machine? I told that it's leaking the coffee. Basically, it accumulates on this side and leaks out, so it's leaking to the electronics and to the table. What I saw a lot of video on the internet showing that you need to bend these things. This is, I would say, nonsense, because it has nothing to do with all these mechanisms. Don't bend them. If you bend them or do anything with them, you can first of all damage the mechanism of the capsule, so the capsule will stay or wouldn't pick up. Don't touch this thing, my recommendation. Other thing is also inside of it. You can see this gasket. Yes, sometimes it got dirty. Some of them recommend to insert some sharp tools inside so it can be cleaned up. Yes, basically you can clean it, but pay attention. If you rip this thing, you can never fix it again. It will leak again. It's better to disassemble the top part, and then you'll have this whole thing clean up. Other things, what is the main idea? I understood why this whole machine leaks. Basically, most of them is this bottom part. You see this small cap? It creates some shifting on the motor X. So basically this thing is playing up and down. How you can verify if this is the problem, so you would continue or inverse not continue the future fixing? It's you can look inside. You see this cup. This cup is now moving a little bit up and down. So basically, grab it with your fingers with the cup and try to pull it on the top and check inside if this thing is moving or not. Moving, I mean up and down, not rotating movement, but up and down. When you move it up, you can see that it's moved up. After that, take your fingers and press on it. If you see that this thing all around it, not only the cup, but the thing around the cup moved down a couple of millimeters, it means the problem is inside with the motor axle. So basically, if you do whatever you do on the top part of this machine, this wouldn't fix this problem. So basically, first thing, simply press on the cup. If the surrounding is moving 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters down, and when you pull the cup up, it's going up again, this is your problem basically, and this causes why your machine leaks. Then you need completely to disassemble the housing. You need to go inside. So basically this explains the situation. Now I will disassemble this machine and I will show you the parts that you can clean and how to remove the sides. So I didn't find any video regarding this machine on the internet. I think it will be helpful for a lot of people. So stay tuned. We'll start the disassembling. And also for the disassemble, what tools I would use. The first of all is T10 screwdriver, but with the hole in the middle. This is needed. I'll remove this bin. I don't need it anymore. There's only one screw on this machine. It's located on the back behind the container for the capsules. This is T10, so I will unscrew it right away so you can see. Basically, you remove the screw and you don't need the screwdriver no more till you assemble it. Another thing what you would use, it's sort of spatula tool, because all these plastics on the machine, it clips. It's composed a lot of clipping things. When I remove this side, you'll see another screws inside. That will be a Phillips one, but this will be later. Now we are disassembling the housing. We'll use the spatula tool and we'll use also the small screwdriver if you'll need some detachment and so on. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, let's continue. First of all, we use our small tool. What we need to do is to insert the tool. You see this house? In here, there's a plastic and the housing. So basically it should end up between the housing and the plastic, and you try gently pull this thing up and pressing like this. Oh, you see, it starts moving. You see, this thing is detached, so I unclip this part. So we'll turn machine upside down. We'll do the same from other part. We're inserting the tool between. There's really small gap. It's hard to insert, but it's realizable basically. Okay. You can pull it with your hands and try to insert the tool after. Okay, you see, I inserted the tool. There's a really thin gap, so it's better to pull with the fingers, insert the tool, and try to press on the tool. So basically, and you can see that the other part is also went out. So I can see that plastic is start. Oh, you saw? I pressed with the finger, both of the part went out. So okay, you see the top housing went out. After this, you need to press a little bit the button from the top, and this housing, you remove it like this. You see? I removed completely the top part. Let's put it aside. Okay, to disassemble further, you can see also there are no screws around it. So basically all this thing around it, it's only on the clips. The only screws you'll see, they will be really under it. So basically we'll now, if you need only to clean the top part, you don't need to remove the sides. So I wouldn't touch now the top part. I will remove the sides for someone that want to fully disassemble it. And after that, when everything removed, I will disassemble the top part and I will disassemble the mechanism from the bottom part, so I can see, I can show you where the shifting is. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, let's continue. Now we want to remove the sides. To remove the sides, first of all, as I showed before, we remove the screwdriver. One more time, it's T10 with a hole in the middle. To be able to remove it, we'll use the same spatula tool. Where the screwdriver, we insert this tool in this cavity. You see the tool is inserted inside. This will help us to move this side up. So now we're taking the machine like this. So one hand here, one hand we'll put on the case. We'll grab the case and we pull it up. That's all. One part is removed. We'll do the same with the second part. It should go up. And as we can see, it stops again here. We need to shift this thing a little bit upper and we pull. Okay. Now we remove the second part. What else can be removed also? We can also remove, I think, the front side. No, this thing can, no, it's removed also easy. We remove the front. Okay. So you can see all the housing around it, it's removed. And later I will show you the disassemble of the top part and the disassemble of the main unit for from the motor on the top. Okay, stay tuned. Bye. Okay, let's continue our disassembling process. So basically we now want to remove the top part, so we would be able to clean all the intact and check if there's any leak on the top part. There is a possibility that there can be also leak from there, but as I told, the percentage is small. Usually the leak is coming from inside, but I will show you later exactly where the leak is coming from. Let's disassemble the top part. We'll remove this part, so we'll use the same spatula tool. We see where it's moving, we insert the tool, we press on it a little bit, this thing comes up. Watch out for the spring. There is a spring here, not to lose it. You can leave the spring on the machine, or you can remove it with the part that we are taking out now. I will keep the machine on the spring on the machine. It will be easier for me for now. We'll do the same thing from other part. We'll keep the spring, so this thing is removed. Okay, let's continue with the top part. The top part, as you can see, it has two clips from here. The clips, I will show you closer. The clips should be pressed from the inside, so this thing can go up. So basically we'll use a small screwdriver of the tool, and we need to press. You can see where there's here from opposite side. So basically we put our screwdriver, pressing a little bit, and this thing should go up. Okay, you see it's detached from here. We'll do the same thing from other side. I think you can even press it from this side. No, it's better to press it from inside. Or maybe it can even be pressed from here. Look, it can be pressed from here, and sorry, you can pull this thing upper. There is a spring. Sorry, the spring is pressing back, so we'll remove the spring now. Oops. Oops, it went back. Okay, you see, this thing is removed from here. So basically we disconnected both of the sides. So this thing is now freely moving. Also, to remove it later, we need to take the button. With your finger, simply pull it out. You see the black ribbon cable here. Gently pull it and remove it all along, so it can be freely removed. On the top part, when the cable is removed, we are simply pulling this thing carefully up. You can see from one side and from another the same thing. Oh, another side come back in, but as we know how to remove it, it will be easier. Okay, now the top part is disconnected with the button, the two small button, the pulse button. That's all. This part can be also put it aside. So yeah, now we have the mechanism for the capsules. Pay attention how they are located, because when you'll remove this thing on the top, they will fall down, and you need to know how they are so you can put them in the correct position. So otherwise there is nothing else. Okay, let's start now removing the top part. Okay, now I will need to take another screwdriver, because here is, I think it's T9. I will confirm it in a second. Okay, here the screws are T9 screws, so basically we need to remove these 3 screws. One on the top and 2 from sides. So one more time, this is a T9 screwdriver that I'm using now. Oops. Now pay attention, because the capsule exit mechanism is held by spring. When we remove the top part, the springs will go with it. So basically we wouldn't touch them. As you can see, this top part is removed. So this is the top part, and it connects to the main reservoir. So basically later we'll put it in a side. Now we have the round mechanism. To remove it, we'll keep our finger on the bottom. Pay attention, it's really sharp, it can cut your fingers. So take the glove or take maybe a towel. I already used to it, so I know where to take it exactly. So basically keep the side, bottom side not to move, so fix it. And from the top side you can use your fingers to unscrew this thing. So basically we unscrewed it, see? So now this thing can be removed. There is two sort of the gaskets, I will show you it in a second. So there's a blue one, don't lose it, clean it, we'll put it aside. And the second one is, sometimes this thing also can leak, because this hole, it's really thin plastic, it should be more rubber. After some time it becomes hard and it can leak from here. It rarely happens, but it can happen. And basically you'll need to replace this part. Maybe you can even make it from the small rubber, this part. So we'll put it in a side. When we remove two parts, we can press with our finger in the middle. Oops. We are pressing in the middle and this thing goes down. And this is our favorite bearing. This bearing is still really good. Comparing with the other one, I think this one has a plastic thing. So this you can get to this mechanism, and basically what you'll do, you unscrew, there are 3 screws from the side, they're also T9, there are 4 of them, sorry. When you unscrew them, pay attention of their placement. This is important, because when you remove them, you have now, with the last screw, you can feel the pressure because there's a spring inside. So now, as you can see, this is the top part, this is the spring. When you disassemble it, it will be full of coffee. So you gently remove. There are also 2 pieces. Pay attention where these things are, because they should be exactly on these positions. And now you got to your rubber gasket. I wouldn't recommend removing it, because in the middle it goes up to the end. So if you want to clean it, simply bend it a little bit, clean it and put it back. Don't fully remove it. It's my recommendation. For the spring also around it, it can be some coffee. And from this side, this thing can also be easily removed with the spring. So you can, basically you're cleaning all over. Now we are putting back this gasket, and look where you put them, because this is important. Basically the round one are the, to fix them, you see, this round one are the 3 plastics, and there's a space for 4 screws. When it's placed, we put in this thing back. I'm not sure that there is any difference from this side, but I'll see now. I don't remember to speak truly. No, it should fit by itself, but the spring went out. Okay, let's do it one more time. Basically what you're doing, this thing should be aligned with the hole for the screws. When you align it, the bottom part wouldn't move, so it will be solid. After the alignment, you press on the, you see, it's really sharp here, so pay attention not to cut your fingers. Press on the bottom part where there's no needles. Press on the top part, keep it pressed, take the screws and put them back. you need at least to put 2 screws. And this is how you clean the top mechanism from any coffee left. In some cases, I think really rarely cases, it can help you with your leak. And basically you'll have your machine clean again and you can continue using it. So I will assemble the top part back so you can see how it's assembled. We'll insert in the backwards. You see, I didn't even touch the exiting mechanism. They are staying in the place where they are, not to confuse them or to mix them. I will keep them here and that's all. The bearing will go inside. We'll do the opposite. We'll put our white gasket. There's a rubber. We'll put this plastic. I think the plastic is better put from one side because it's more, more sharp. So I'll put the plastic back in. And I will screw my thing back. So basically this is how we are doing the cleanup of the top part. If you have some coffee left and cause of it is leaking, but as I told, usually the problem of the leak is completely different. And we put this thing back, check to be aligned. Oh, now it's good. We put our 3 screws back. You see, I don't touch for now the springs. I assemble everything. And now I'm putting my springs back how they were before. So one goes on one side, another on the other. And I'm checking that the mechanism is working. So that's all. This is how you basically disassemble, clean the top part, hoping that it will fix your leak. But it's not guaranteed to fix it. So I'll put the spring back. I had it down. Oops. Okay, the same thing we put in together. Look, there's a metal thing here. So we need to insert the metal on the other side. We are taking, I will show you that you see this metal is inserted here, metal part. After that we align it from both sides, left and right. When it's aligned, we gently should press on it and it should go to its position. It clicks from one side and clicks from another side. Oops, I forgot to put my cable normally, so now I'm taking my cable and I'm putting it back. I'm inserting the cable back. Don't forget to remove the cable, it will be easier and it will save your connector from damaging. So now the cable is back, I can put my button back, the isolation for the button, sorry. How it was, let's see, it was like this. I am gently putting all the sides so it will go in, checking the button, checking another one. So now I will insert this thing, it will be harder. Oops. Let's see, this thing should go on the bottom and it should be kept, and the springs should be attached here. So basically we put in back the springs. Or maybe the springs can be put later. Let me see if I can insert this, and after that I will put the springs. And also important thing, see here, it should be aligned with this corner. It will be, if you insert it here, you can put it back. So basically it should be on the top. So I will insert this spring back. I'll use a small screwdriver, it's easier to put it back, the spring. So yeah. I put one spring, align the corner, press on it. It pressed. So one corner is inserted, one side, sorry. I'm doing the same thing for the other side. I'm putting the spring, I'm aligning this corner, I'm putting it inside the hole. I'm inserting the spring. And I'm now pressing back. Okay, it pressed. And I'm verifying that it's working fine. You see? It's playing, so it's working fine. Okay, so I showed you how to disassemble the top part. Let's move to the bottom side. So I can show you where exactly is the problem with all this leaking thing. Basically, to remove the bottom part, you need to insert a screwdriver. I will show you more attentively here. So you'll press this thing on the top, and the top part should be moved out. So basically I am pressing it here, look, and I'm pressing the second part, and I'm trying to push it up. After I do it, you'll see exactly what I was pushing, so you can see. This part is moved, I need another one. Okay, now you see these two things were keeping the top part of moving up. I pressed on them and now I can easily move it up. I'm doing the same from the opposite side. I'm pressing on one, pressing on another, one more time this one, and it goes up, and I'm pressing it up. So in this way, from both sides, I'm keeping my hand here and I'm pulling this side up. So in this position, I will try to do it on the side. You need to pull whole unit upper and bend it. So basically when you bend it, the top unit will go out. Okay, as we remove the top part, we got to the bottom one. As you can see, here is the heating mechanism that has some cables. First of all, you remove this rubber, clean it. It should be full of coffee. You remove the small cap, this one. It also needs to be cleaned. As I told, the main problem of this machine is because of the middle part is it's playing up and down. So you can see it from here. It's playing almost 2 millimeters. I don't know if you see it on the video, but this thing is, the black is moving. So basically I'm thinking when the top part presses on the capsules, it presses it too deep and there is a small gap. And basically when I saw where the machine is leaking from, it's leaking basically from this gap around it. And what can be done? You can disassemble, remove this heating element there through screws. I wouldn't do it now because this machine should go back, but you remove these 3 screws, this part goes up and you can see the motor with the shaft on the middle, and you can even pull the shaft and it will be like playing 1-2 millimeters. And I think this is the main reason why this thing is happening, because when you often use it, this thing always presses on it and it creates some play in the shaft, and when this play appears, it starts leaking around it. For now I don't have any other explanation of the situation, so basically I think this is the case, because I cleaned the top part, I also checked the bottom, clean all the gaskets, everything is clean and good. I didn't saw any play in other part of the machine, only this one, what I saw, that it's playing 1-2 millimeters up and down, and not the cap but this thing around it. So basically, as you can see here, this is where the top gasket with the capsule is going to the bottom, and this rubber attached to the top one. So even 2 millimeters down creates a gap, and the coffee starts coming out from this gap. And basically I think this is where the problem is happening. I didn't saw any other options or problem where it can appear from. So now, as we saw this thing, you can check also on your machine if this thing is playing or not, but I saw on another machine, the new one, when this thing is solid, it doesn't even play not a half millimeters. And this thing happening because all these mechanisms with the capsule rotating thing, it's located on the small 2 millimeter motor shift, and it's always making pressure on it. And cause of its turning with the pressure, somewhere it's eating. You can insert maybe a washer between this part and the motor one, so it can compensate these 2 millimeters. But as I thought, for me today it's more to identify the problem, to assemble it back and give it to the customer, because I think this machine is still on the warranty. So yeah, now you know how to do it. Now I'll do the back assembly. I would insert the top part, I'll put everything together, and the good thing also on this machine that they don't have any warranty seals. So if there will be any warranty seal, basically I would break it with all this manipulation. But because of there's no warranty seals, you see I'm inserting this thing, it goes back up. That's all, machine is assembled. It can be even used in this state, but I will put now the top part and the sides one, and I will give it back. So basically now you know how you can disassemble it, clean it, maybe fix the problem. If you'll find a good solution, let me know. But I think the solution would be, if the motor shaft it's come from the bottom, and in the bottom it has the pressing mechanism, maybe it should be tight from the bottom so it can press up, so the shift will go up and it wouldn't play in this part. Or as I thought, the washer can be used, that will be inserted between this part and the motor shift that's coming out, and this will compensate this 2 millimeter plane gap. So now I'll put the sides. I'll put the front part. And the sides will shift in opposite way, the same way how I removed it. So basically I am taking it to the back, I'm checking where this slide is coming from, I am putting it a little bit upper, because as you can see the mechanism, it has the sliding inserts. So basically I am putting all the wires in, I am putting this thing, and I'm trying to align it with all these parts. When it's aligned, it should go down, and this thing should be also in its place. I'm doing the same thing for the second part. I'm aligning all the parts. When it's aligned, I need also to align this one from here. Now it's aligned, I'm pressing it down. It clamps. So, and I'm putting my screw back in the middle. It's T10 with the hole in the middle, and I'm screwed it inside. So yeah, this part is done. And now I will put the top part. As you remember, the top part should be inserted in opposite way from the back. So I'm inserting the back, or from the front. No, from the front, sorry. I'm inserting the front. I'm checking that the button should be aligned. I'm gently pressing on it so it can be all tight. You see the button is in the middle. I want the button to be, the rubber around the button to be like this. Now that it's in place, I basically need to press on it till I hear the clamp. One, I think they both clamped in the same, yeah, they both are clamped. and the front is also clamped in. No, the front also. Okay, the front is also clamped. That's all. This is the way how you just disassemble this machine, diagnose. It can help you to identify a lot of problems, like the hoses can be blocked, the hose can be seen from the bottom or even coming to the top. There are multiple things that will this tutorial will help you to fix in this machine. To speak truly, for this expensive machine to have these small defects, it's a shame, I would say, but this is how it is. Basically, I think they want you always to buy something new, and that's why they keep these small parts, small things there. Okay, thank you for watching, have a good day, bye.